Hi there, welcome to the Beaten Trail. In this episode, we will take you on a journey to Windrock, Tennessee, to Trail 32. We were just down there the week between Christmas and New Year's. Windrock is a huge place, and we were only able to touch a small portion of it, and in fact, only one or two trails. Riding along with me, I was in my Honda Talon 1000R. Shane was up front with his Can-Am X3 RR, and in between us we had Gary in his 2020 Fox Edition Razor Trail. Also, we had a Wildcat in the rear who we picked up at the parking lot and made friends with George and team. So, really, the experience here, we're going to try to put a whole video together, but this was a small piece just because this Trail 32 was very rut filled. There was a lot of ruts and sliding on the gray clay, on the brown clay. The clay was very slippery, not as red as we had experienced down in Durham town. But regardless, it was a difference and a departure from the trails that we were used to. So a lot of pools of water. The water hid a lot of deep ruts, and as we were going along, we would ascend the hills and then descend. And when we got to this one little spot, Gary was going to try to make this turn after Shane went through. And Shane, with a much wider wheelbase and width in his Can-Am, he was able to make it up this incline that turned up to the left. As Gary went to make this turn, I could just see the vehicle leaning in. It was going to reach the depth of the right rut. See that it was a bit deeper than was expected. I believe the depth was also a saving grace because that rut held the tire in from him rolling over. The main goal was just to arrest the roll and to stop him from rolling over into deeper water. There were floating logs and a whole bunch of other stuff in that water, and it was actually deep. Shane later put his foot into it. Shane's over here taking pictures. The trail just couldn't get up the incline, and one rut was just deeper than the other. So our main goal was to get the winch hooked up just to prevent him from making any further leans or falls into that. And although Gary was in a harness, you still don't want to be upside down in water. And even if it's just a foot deep, it's still not a pleasant experience to be upside down in water. So George and Shane and I were just trying to get that winch hooked up around a tree just so we can arrest the roll and make sure he's not going off to the side. Now Gary has a standard issue 2020 Razor Trail. He does have 28 or 29 inch tires. I don't think he has spacers, but he has standard suspension. So the width of his ride is probably no more than 54 inches with the bigger tires from stock. He has the rock kickers, rock sliders, which you can see in red, and later I use those as a stepping location, even though they're probably not meant to hold the weight of a human. See the logs floating in the water there, and I believe someone had cut them down and put them into the ruts to try to fill those up and allow people to traverse that rut better. Standing on to the side of the unit, I just wanted to give him a couple pounds to basically keep the unit from angling over. And the main goal, just to get the tire out of that hole, was the main goal, because it was at least a foot deep, and then he was just sinking even more. So as we pulled back out, we had noticed that there was an alternate trail, and we would just have to back out and take that trail. It's simple as that. And I know it's probably not standard issue, but I usually carry a small shovel. Now, I know if you can't get around any other way, I know it's not recommended to go digging up trails, but if you have to get through, you got to get through. So I don't know what else could have been done here. He just needs to have a bigger unit. I think that's it. And we identified a small path by bending some trees around, some small saplings. And up to the left, just up that hill, we had a lump of dirt, and it looked like even I would fit as a 68-inch Talon. I had a feeling that I would fit up there. So that's the route that we went. Really, Windrock is pretty expansive, and we look forward to being back there, and I hope to have a little bit of a video, although Trail 32 and Trail G10, I think, and G1 was where we spent most of our time. Inexpensive at Windrock. You should have adequate mapping. The cell coverage is a little bit hit or miss, even though you're on top of the mountain. Please let us know. Have you experienced Windrock? We appreciate you watching. If you get a chance, please click on our Amazon links. It helps support our channel. We will see you out there on the trail. Thanks.